How's it going?
Going well. How about you?
Good. This might be a very short meeting because I've reviewed all of the chambers, points of interest and what they're fighting for, and I agree with them. So I don't know. We can certainly delve deeper, but I reviewed that and I thought, yes, I check all those boxes.
Well, thank you. We appreciate that. And we appreciate the service that you've provided to the region over the many years that you have been in office. As you know, we're the Southwest Florida Alliance of Chambers, and we represent 8 chambers of commerce, 6,000 businesses, and over 300,000 residents and constituents in Lee and Collier counties. We are recording this interview, so we appreciate that you agree with our priorities, and we're hoping to spread the word with our members and residents within the community. So the interviews will all be posted on our website
Great.
and our social media.
Great, thank you.
In case you don't know anybody on the call, we'll go and do brief introductions, and then we just have 8 brief questions to ask you. So,
Okay, sounds
John,
good.
if you want to kick us off, John?
Sure thing. Hey, Heather, how are you?
Good, John.
I'm John Lai, Santa Monica Captiva Chamber of Commerce. Thanks for being here with us today.
Absolutely.
Hi, Heather. I'm Donna Germain. I'm President and CEO of the Chamber of Commerce of Cape Coral.
Thank you, Donna.
Colleen?
Sorry. Hi, Heather. It's Colleen DePasquale, Greater Fort Myers Chamber of Commerce. Thanks for being here.
Absolutely. Nice to see you.
Heather, Jackie Lezak, Fort Myers Beach Chamber of Commerce. How you doing?
Doing great, Jackie. Thank you.
Michael Dalby, I'm the President and CEO of the Greater Naples Chamber of Commerce.
Hi, Michael. Nice to meet you.
Thank you.
And we have Chris Lopez on the phone with us.
Good morning, Rep. This is Chris Lopez. I'm the chairman of the Southwest Florida Chamber, and I consult with the Alliance. Great to see you.
Wonderful. Nice to hear your voice.
So Heather, for those that haven't had the opportunity to work with you in the past, can you just tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yes, I can. I have been a state representative for Fort Myers in District 78 for 8 years now. I have a tremendous passion for serving my community. One of the things that I pride myself on is not just legislating, but really getting out in the community and getting involved and trying to understand what's really going on the ground. And I also try to be extremely accessible, not only to my constituents, but any advocates that come to Tallahassee. And I truly love my work, and I've done a lot of things. I fought for clean water. I've been an advocate for ending human trafficking. I also am a big supporter of business deregulation so that we can enable small businesses and medium-sized businesses to get rid of the red tape and do what they do best, which is operate their business. So those are just a few little highlights.
Thank you. And what prompted you to run for office again?
Because I didn't want to stop. I really love my work, and this was such a great opportunity to continue.
And what makes you qualified to represent the business community?
Well, I have owned a business myself in the past, and I've also worked on Wall Street in the early part of my career. So I do understand many aspects of what business owners do go through. And I'm always trying to, again, come up with ways that I can help. Being the head of business and professions really enabled me to try to push through some things in my committee that I thought were very beneficial to businesses.
In your opinion, what is the most pressing issue facing the Southwest Florida business community? And if elected, what would you do to address this issue?
Well, that to me it's a two-prong answer. Right now, obviously, I think it's COVID-19. I'm very concerned about the uptick in the numbers, and I don't want the fragile recovery that we have begun to get retracted by cases continuing. Then I would layer on that my equally big concern, which is the clean water. Because if we don't keep the water clean and we are in this fragile state that we are now, I think that would be a death blow to many businesses, and our economy is just, it flourishes because of clean water, and it counts on that in every aspect. I mean, I don't need to tell you, but it's the tourism and the building and everything. It's critically important.
It's a perfect segue into our next question. You know that we're heavily dependent on leisure and hospitality. So if elected, what would you do to encourage economic diversification in the region?
Well, I think that's a very good point because we do need economic diversification. I think I would like to perhaps put together, and this might be something, I don't want to duplicate efforts with what maybe the chamber's already doing, but perhaps help assist in some way to have a task force to really try to bring diverse businesses down here and perhaps incent businesses to come through some mechanism, with a tax break or other kind of incentive that would be possible through legislative means. I think that if we don't diversify our economy, we're just setting ourselves up for a roller coaster ride that will continue for years to come. And I don't want that for myself or my kids or other long-term residents here. I think it's critically important, and I would be all in. As you probably know, I was a huge proponent of continuing Visit Florida. And when there were a lot of people that were not in that corner, I was waving the flag. Yes, we need Visit Florida. That's what we need in Southwest Florida.
And we thank you for that. So as you know, this group was formed out of the 2018 water crisis, and water quality was and remains our #1 priority. So we also appreciate your support in water quality initiatives. If elected, what specific projects would you advocate for to improve and protect Southwest Florida's water quality?
Sure. Well, obviously, I think we need to finish out the big projects that we've already started with the federal-state partnership. But I think we need to do a better job of policing what we do at a local level with different municipalities and governments because we are not taking care of the water the way we should. For example, most recently, literally a block from my house, we had an old pipe going into Manuel's Branch, which flows into the Caloosahatchee, expel, untold gallons of raw sewage. So we need to be finding a way to motivate, and I'd like to always do the positive motivation first, but if that's not working, we need to say to our municipalities, if you don't take care of your infrastructure to the point that it's going to impact our economy and impact the water, then we are not going to be funding additional projects for you. I think it would also be important to look at more ways in which to stop the flows from septic tanks. We're engaged in that heavily, but we aren't finished yet. I think we have to monitor the nutrients that we're putting into the water that accidentally come off in runoff from, whether myself putting, fertilizer on my lawn. I think we need education, and we need some kind of enforcement mechanism that people know that this is so important that you can't just, look the other way when you're doing these things.
Thank you. Elaborating on that a little bit, what specific actions do you think lawmakers should take to improve and protect Southwest Florida's waterways?
Well, I kind of a little bit touched on that, already. I mean, I think that those are some things we need to make sure that we are all on the same page with how we are limiting the nutrient flows into the waterways. That's critical. I think that we, are doing a good job. I think we might want to up the system that's known as BMAPs, that those are the best practices, because I'm not sure that the best practices are always being done. They're aspirational, but I'd like to see them be more of a full-on commitment, and that would be something that we could work toward legislatively.
Okay, thank you. One last question. Is there anything else you'd like us to know about you or your priorities?
Well, yes, I would like you to know that if you would send me back to Tallahassee to work for you, you will not find any other candidate that is more passionate about what I do and that is always available and always is ready to listen. I want everyone to feel that they have a partner in me and that I'm truly representative of them. And it's the kind of thing that I want to be very accessible to everyone and understand businesses' concerns. So I'm not going to go up there and lock myself in my office as some people do and not take appointments. I am here to serve, and I truly mean that.
Well, thank you so much. We appreciate the service that you've provided to this region, and we appreciate you taking the time to meet with us
Absolutely.
today.
I enjoyed it. Good to see all of you.